I'm sure a lot of people have unanswered questions that they'd like to ask, and I'm going to answer them. I don't, uh, I don't know exactly what people are going to ask, but I do have a good idea, and I've written down a list of questions, as well as some brief points for me to follow from me answering these questions myself. I really needed the help to come back and make this video. I couldn't just rip it, rip it off the top. I've actually tried it a couple times. It didn't work. So um, yeah, we'll do it like that. Uh, this may be cut into two parts, but I'm gonna go ahead and start off on number one. Why have I made and released videos online? I would say for three reasons, honestly. Uh, the first one, the number one, before anything else, I'd really like people to donate to the fund. Not only it's for my funeral costs, and that's what I would really like at least people to help with. But any more that could be donated, could be made um, to go to my medical expenses as well. Uh, it would really be helpful, you know. I always, I don't like leaving it like that, with this these big bills, and I don't, and I can't make that money back for them, and that's my mistake. Um, so that's the first reason, above all else. The second is that I would say to the people that know me, that are looking for answers, that they can get them. Um, I don't know. I don't want to leave them without some type of way of understanding. I feel like I would be wrong if I didn't do that. And the third reason would be that deep down, I do feel like I still want to be known as a musician. It's still what it's what I've always done. It's what I've always loved. It's my passion that I've had since birth. I was lucky to be one of those people that figured out exactly what they wanted to do from the very beginning. And was able to learn so much and experience so much, and yeah. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like I should be known by more people, like a little bit uh, in a non-humble kind of way, I guess you could say. Um, just deep down inside, just being real. Like I said, this is just everything that's just the truth. Number two, why are you making this video? Well, I kind of already explained that. I wanted to answer questions that anyone had publicly, or people that I met, personally, in the now or in the past. And for context, that's something that I did forget to mention. Context, is pretty much what all this is. I'm trying to get people to have a full understanding of everything that I can give in a video like this. Why did I do it? I kind of hope the point has been made clearly already, but I did it to end a life that really hasn't been too good, and really because, like, honestly, because there is no future in this body. You know, and a body like this is, it's just not going to work. Um, I can barely do anything. Literally, barely do anything. Um, not because I refuse to do it, but just because, you know, when I do anything, it just comes with an extreme amount of pain. Like I've been, I didn't I didn't just not try, you know. Like I tried, really did, and it really just is no future for this body anymore. And I think that I'd like to stop living a life where I'm a joke, you know, or being the joke version of me. And it's only going to get worse from here. You know, that's not like, that's just where my health is going, and where it's been going. Um, Number 4, why did I make it publicized instead of private? I did it to get people to help my mother financially, of course, you've heard me mention that. Um, and if there's any extra money that I just, uh, she deserves it, you know. She really does. I wish that I would be able to have given that to her. You know, I've earned it and given it to her, you know. Number 5, it looks like. Why the coroner's office? Uh, I was trying to make sure to get my message through, for sure. And hopefully get the wish that I asked for. And I don't know, maybe bypass a couple fees. I saw a list of kind of funeral fees, and that transportation was one of them. I don't really know if I'll get that or not, but that would be, I don't know, that'd be like the cherry on top if everything that I asked for does get done. All right, number 6. Why do you always look high? Are you? See, we're going right into this. Yeah, rarely. The truth is, I haven't had a real restful sleep in about 8 years. 7 years. I can say that there's been 5 times in 7 years where I've had like a decent night's sleep, where you wake up and you feel better than you did before. You know, I don't know, you just feel rested, you feel normal, I guess. I don't know. And I didn't get that, but 5 times, you know, around 5 times. It's that, and also, of course, being in so much pain, and the lack of rest just doesn't help to make my eyes wider than, you know, wide as they should. But you know, drugs can sometimes make them, you know, a little bit lower, of course. I mean, that, but that's honestly a small part like seriously the fucking small reason why I always am slow, look high, you know. Excuse me. But I know what I look like, you know, and it's easier to act like I'm high instead of telling people I am, hey, I'm actually suffering inside, and my body's breaking down, and I'm in extreme pain right now. That's you think I'm, you know, high? No, I think I'm like in a far off world, but I'm right here in the ground and just fucking dying inside. Boo. Alright, don't be scared or surprised, even though I'm sure I look a little scary right now. Making this video over the span of a couple months, a couple weeks, so you'll see a different version of me popping in and out, different times and outfits and all that shit. So, next question. Why does your voice and the way that you speak sound so different all the time? Okay, there's a few reasons. The first one, which is the most obvious, is that the main area that is, the worst kind of pain, the most damage is done, is to the sternum, also called the breadbasket. If you've ever been hit there hard enough, you'll feel like the air is, all out of you. If you don't know what it does, it's a very vital part of how you speak and how you breathe, and mine is all the way fucked up. Which is why, like you hear, like when I talk, it sounds pained. It sounds like somebody is or something is weighing down on my chest and I'm talking. That's why it sounds like that. The second reason is for the raspiness. Now, my throat is already a little raspy, right? Like the way my voice is, it's a little raspy naturally. But what makes it worse is that the damage actually extends to the bottom of the throat, and it's a little bit enclosed at the bottom. So it makes it harder to breathe, so I have shallow breaths, and when I speak, I don't really have all the air that, you have when you're talking, and it just makes it even raspier. The third problem is, and this one's on me, when I was younger, and, I was hitting puberty, and my deep voice was coming in, people couldn't hear me. All the time, people would tell me, I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying, can't hear you. So, I would put my voice in a higher pitch, in a higher tone, that way people could hear me. And I've been doing that for most of my life. Because my voice is a very, deep and, compared to my voice now, a lot smoother. But people couldn't understand me, so I used the higher pitch, and that just ended up becoming something I do whenever I talk to people, unless on the phone, then I can speak lower, so because they can actually hear me since it's in a mic. And you'll see me, you'll hear my actual voice, at least the deeper part of it, in videos here and there, especially when I don't have the energy to go higher. The next reason is because, at least for the way that I speak and tone and all that, why that sounds different is because I know how to sound smart. Alright, I know I come off as a dumbass enough times, like, to persuade you otherwise, but I know how to talk well. And whenever I want to get my point across, whenever I really want to say something and people get it, know exactly what I'm saying, I take all the slang out of my language, the swagger, I take all, like, personality out of it. All of my personality comes out of it, and I just give you, like, I'm just trying to say whatever it is I'm trying to say. And I've been doing that for a long time. So that's why, like, you'll hear in different parts of some of the videos, whenever I'm, like, going off the top of my mind, the top of the head, you'll hear that start to come out a little bit more. And that's, like, just me, that's my personality shining through, me trying to sound smart or eloquent when I'm trying to, talk about some shit. And I also talk that way when I'm uncomfortable. Like, I don't know, it's like the way that I process it, like, process being uncomfortable, I just, like, kind of clam up and, like, I just go to that, I just go to proper speak. But, when I'm more comfortable, you'll hear, like, me actually come out, in the speech. So, yeah, those are the reasons why I sound different. And, the raspiness, the pain, that's all worse. I can't rap anymore because of it. And I've been losing the ability to for, like, over time. So that was really the one. I remember when I first had the accident, I guess you could say. I pulled, I was doing an exercise, a weightlifting exercise. I was lifting a bar with one hand, and it had like 35 pounds on it, maybe like 37 and a half to be exact. And I was doing and I used it all the time, like, and I was finishing out a set, and I was really trying to, like, power through. It was like my third set. I was doing like a set of 3, and then I was at like the last 10 reps. And on that, like 3 or 4 reps in, I get on my toes, because, like, that helped to get it done. I was kind of cheating, and, like, I knew I shouldn't have done it. And then I felt a pop in my chest, and it just went all to hell from there, It was like a slow, just, I don't know. But yeah, so when it happened, I remember the only thing that I thought was, I can deal with it as long as it doesn't fuck with how I rap. But I knew that once I really knew it was a sternum. I mean, I could feel it, but I knew that I was eventually gonna be fucked. But I just ignored it and tried to, deal with it and, use my voice as much as I could. But yeah, it's kind of funny, ironic, that the one thing that I do in life that I'm good at is making music, and, my voice is taken away. Ain't that a bitch? Alright, so next question. You talk about drug use in your songs. Let's say that you're not a drug addict. So, what's the truth? The truth is, and I think this is a good question, uh, the drug use is real, with one exception. But what I also don't tell you is that I have a broken and crippled body, and I need them to function, to physically function at all in any capacity, even though most of the time it's like a very minimal amount. And that's not necessarily cool to say. That's not, it doesn't make people, it's a negative emotion. It's a negative feeling with that. There's some awkwardness to it. It's like this, right? We say the phrase, "How are you doing?" every day to everybody. The closest friends to the strangest of strangers. So imagine that you see somebody, right, on the street, you barely know them or don't know them at all, and they come up to you, they say, "Hi, how are you doing?" And you say, which you always say, "I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm good, how are you?" And then they say, "Not good. Shit is bad. Things are fucked up right now." That, it just makes you feel awkward. It's not a good feeling. It probably brings some confusing thoughts, you know, some that's not good, and that's not what, and that is exactly what people would feel, would think, when they hear, these things. And I don't want people to feel that way when they listen to the song, especially if the song is not. I do talk about, how real life is for me and those kind of issues, but I save that for those type of songs where they're built for that. So in other songs where it's not personal, it's just it's whatever else it is. It's just kept very simple, you know. And plus, like, imagine if, like, instead of saying like, "Oh, I took this or took that or did this," what if I said, "Oh yeah, I took a pill because I can't feel my legs, because I can't use my legs," or some shit like that, or maybe the beat drop on that part, like it's supposed to be a hard bar or something. Yeah, that's not cool. Not not a good feeling for the listener. Not necessarily what I want people to grab from me, from songs, especially when I'm not just making a personal, where I can just talk about that. And like I said, I do sometimes. So, yeah. Oh, and the one exception, right? I should mention this. Uh, Only in the past 6 months have I started smoking weed again. There was about 5 to 6 years where I went without smoking weed. And I also talk about, weed consumption and another question. But why did I do that, right? Well, I've also said that I followed and listened to every instruction that medical professionals have given me, right? That wasn't a lie. That was true. I wanted to show people, I wanted to show the medical professionals, the doctors, that they could trust me, that I was a trustworthy person, that despite my looks, despite what they thought, that, hey, I'm taking this serious. This is a real thing. take me serious, and hopefully, like, I had the hopes that throughout the years they would, my proving, right, the proof that I was giving them, you know, every time I would meet with them, every single drug test that I would have to take and show them, you know, even the ones that were like, if I was smoking, it would be impossible to get a good test, you know, to get a test that they're looking for, a clean test. It would have been impossible to, you know. I thought in my head, if I showed them, like, just as the number of times add up, you know, I'm building this trust, showing them that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, following their rules, you know, doing what I was supposed to do. That never, I don't want to say it never got me anywhere. It never got me anywhere better. It just got me stuck in the same place or a little worse than I was before. So that was one of the big reasons why I didn't end up why I ended up doing what I did after so long. But yeah, so that was the one exception with that. And there were times during that 5 to 6 year period where it wasn't a lot, but sometimes I did mention, you know, smoking weed. But when I wrote, matter of fact, when I wrote "Smoke Something Too," I hadn't smoked, and that was during that 5-6 year period. That was a long time, you know, that I went without it. But yeah, so that's that. All right, so here's the next question, and this is a really good one, I think. Why didn't you just smoke weed to relieve the pain? And that's a very fair question. And there's a lot of reasons why I couldn't just smoke weed by itself. The first one is, if I did smoke regularly, then I wouldn't be able to be prescribed the medications or get some of the treatments that I need. And that's number one off the top. That's just like what comes along with it. You step that boundary, you aren't going to be able to cross back on the other side a lot of the times, or if you are, there's still going to have to be like months that I go without pain relief just so I can come back and get the medication anyway. So it's like, if I do start, then you can't stop type of deal. The second one is I need to smoke on a daily basis, anywhere between 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 hours every day, and it has to be high grade indica, and that's hard to get on a consistent basis. It has to be a high grade. This is the third reason, because I only need the pain relief. I don't need the head highs. Okay, head highs, only thing that they do for me is make my chronic anxiety harder to control. I can't really focus right, and I'll psych myself out of everything. I'm not looking to be like I'm drunk up here, you know, just fucking loopy as hell. I'm not trying to do that. I don't need to be that, you know. I don't need my mind. I want all my senses. I just want my body to feel better. So getting that high grade indica, like medical grade shit, is expensive. And even if I did have some like steady income coming in, which would be more of like a part-time kind of deal, like, you know, I'm just going to be spending most or all of my money on weed. And I speak from experience on that, because there was a time where I was making more money, where, you know, I'm able to support, you know, buying that But the problem was I'm spending 75%, 70% of all that I get on it, leaving like 30%, which really is just for the gas for me to get from point A to point B. So it's like I'm working for weed. And this whole time, it's like I'm digging a hole for myself, because just as the days go on, I'm working myself harder. You know, my body's in a lot more pain, so then I have to smoke more weed. I have to smoke, you know, well, so I'll start smoking like, you know, what would have been from, you know, a joint, you know, a day or something like that, a joint and a half a day to 3, you know, to 4. And so it's more money. It's already expensive. Now I need more money to get me through all the pain that I'm dealing with, because I'm working like that in the first place. It's just a hole that I keep digging myself under. The 5th reason is because in Texas it's illegal. Now, mind you, I don't give a shit if it is illegal, but there is a problem when it comes to, because I need it and I have to have it with me constantly and every day. I have to take it traveling everywhere, and I have to, when I'm in places, you know, where I can't have it on me, where, you know, if I get caught, then, you know, or like just having it on me, having other people smell it, like it's an issue, now it's a problem. That's really when I could just have my prescription medications on me, no problem. And I could have hundreds of them and I'm cool, you know. That's one of the problems, especially if I get caught with it, because I'm never gonna have like more than like an ounce on hand. Usually like I'll have just a few, you know, a few joints or something like that. But what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get caught, probably get a ticket, might get a charge, you know what I'm saying? Most likely not, especially since it's like just low quantity. But then it gets confiscated. And now a weed that I'm working for is gone, you know, and I ain't smoke it, you know, it's being smoked up in the evidence room. They hotbox in the evidence room with my shit. So it's just not like a viable, you know, like a thing that is, look at the word viable. You understand what I'm saying? And the sixth reason, like really, I don't, to me, you know, everybody is their own person. They're free to make their own decisions, right? But I don't need to get high to relieve my mind. I need to smoke so I can get that body relief. You know, the pain relief. I don't want to, and this is what's been happening. I've been high, and I'm like loopy as hell, like stupid. I get stupid high. And it's not even like, it's just, I don't need that. I need everything working at a good level up here, so I can function, so I can talk, you know, so I can think about shit that's important, you know. And that's the thing, is like, when I'm smoking more, I'm doing something more. Like, I'm doing work, I'm doing something that's progressive, trying to get somewhere, trying to be successful, or trying to get shit done. And I gotta smoke to do that, if that's what I'm gonna do. And then when I do smoke, I just become an idiot, or at least the idiot in me comes out a lot more than the smart person that I know that I am, or at least I could be. So, and that's why it has to be that high grade anything, and getting it is a fucking circle, right? But that's really all the reasons why it's just not something that is a good choice for me, or the smart choice, given what my options are. The next question is, you say that you're crippled, broken body, yada, 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 right? But I've seen you walk just fine. I've seen you do something like, and you looked okay. So what's up with that? And on the surface, it might seem like a good question, and I'm gonna answer it anyway, regardless of whether it is a good question or not. But I think when you think about it, it'll come to you. So I'm battling this pain right now. I'm not going to just sit there and take it and cry and curl up in a ball and just not do shit. Okay. If I'm alive, then there are things that I have to do, that I want to do, right? So I still have to do them. I may not do them as frequently, but they still need to be done. So I buck the fuck up and I do what I have to do. And sure, it hurts like a bitch. I don't want to do it necessarily, because I know that doing, any like type of physical effort is just going to get me to receive, pain that I'm going to have to deal with for however much time, which can be anywhere from, like an hour to days. And days isn't like rare. That's more common than it should be. I say should be because, I don't know, life just shouldn't be this way, But, so, I just gotta do it. And I do it knowing that it hurts, and it's only going to hurt me even more. And also, I still, even in the lowest state of a person that you could be, knowing that I'm already looking like a fool to people, I still have a sense of pride. So there's a lot of times where I don't want to be in certain places, or there are certain times where I don't want to be seen walking around with the fucking cane. Okay. Because I'm a young man. I'm supposed to be okay. I'm supposed to have this. Everybody's got their own little swag, right? I got my little swag. Alright, let me tell you. You could still swag it out, but it's a little bit harder when you got a cane. It's a little bit harder to deal with social anxiety when I'm gonna catch people's eyes regardless, right? Because that's just like who I am. That's not even necessarily like me trying to get attention towards me. But I'm gonna get more attention because I got a cane, and because I am who I am, and I look how I look. So there's a lot of times where I want to avoid that. I want to avoid the looks. I want to avoid the laughs. I want to avoid the slick talking behind my back. Like, I don't notice the shit. I just want to be normal. So there are times where I don't use it, knowing that it's not even like in that moment. Yeah, I probably could use my cane and like whatever. You know what I'm saying? I need it. If I need it, I need it, right? That's how it's supposed to go. But and fuck what everybody else thinks. That's what it's supposed to be. But nah, like I still care. I should still. So that's why. And this answer is more for like people who see me like in person. There was I'll tell a story real quick, a short story, just as an example. I'm just kind of spitting the shit out here, okay? You can skip to the next question if you want to. But there's a studio that I got, right, with me and my boys at Mindset Music. Shout out to the Marty and DJ Cam. We have a studio, and I did a lot of the like the running back and forth, the dealing with like the management. So I remember we were moving actually everything, moving the studio from one suite to another. It was just like a better one, and anyways, it was a good thing. And I was like, cool, it needs to get done. So I left my cane behind. I started picking shit up, moving heavy shit, walking on my own. And there was this guy who worked there at the time. And like he saw me do this, and he actually, I think he helped me. He did help me a little bit because it was just me. And I appreciate him helping. But like he had seen me really only until that point, seen me like with the cane and not doing, too much physically. So it took him, for a surprise. And he didn't say anything at first, but then like we finished and then we sat down later on and he was like, yo, like, why, he looked very surprised to see, me not use my cane, for me to, do those things that he previously thought that I couldn't do, or didn't do. And I don't know, that I'm just reminded of that when I'm talking about this. And there's a lot of people that, like I said, at the surface, might think it's a good question, but to those who really think about it, I'm tough, right? Like, physically, like mentally tough. And you might disagree, okay? Because I'm over here telling everybody, or telling you everything, like the real about my life, and you might say, okay, what is the weakest man I ever met? You know what I mean? Or just weak, whatever. But you don't go through this type of thing and deal with it for this long without being tough, So you just get shit done because it needs to be done. Alright, the shit needed to be moved, and I know what the cost was going to be. I knew that this shit was gonna hurt me for the next day or two. Next day or two, I was gonna be in more pain just from like the little, just 30 minutes of moving, not even like the heaviest shit, to one place to the other, right? Shit that I am supposed to not do. Let me just state for the record here, I'm not supposed to lift anything more than 5 pounds. Okay? Imagine like pushing the puller. It's the same shit, right? And 5 pounds and below. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what is recommended. Anything above that, you're not supposed to do. okay. But you just don't live life like that. There's shit that you gotta do, right? And so there's that. I don't know. Stupid little story. Maybe like I said, I'm just spitballing here. So for my pride, and because you just gotta do what you gotta do, no matter the cost. Regardless of what reasons that you may have had for it, what you did was in the public eye, and a spectacle was made out of it. What do you think about the effect on other severe chronic pain victims and suicidal thought individuals that you may be influencing to do the same thing that you did? Here's my answer to that. I encourage other chronic pain patients like me to fight for as long as they can, just like I did. And the pressure to change policies and the medication treatment for severe chronic pain patients like me that isn't cancer, and start changing the public conversation when it comes to prescribing medication, opioid medication, to those who need it versus those who don't. Because what's happening is that policies and rules and changes are being made to affect everyone. And when they affect everyone and they take away the medication from the people who actually need it, we start dropping off like flies. Because what happens is that people are resorted to two things: shooting up heroin that comes in from China, or kill themselves because they can't deal with the pain anymore, or they don't want to be, a heroin addict. They just want to be free, to live without so much pain that they didn't ask for. The shit was just slapped onto them, But shit happens. There's people like us, and poor health doesn't care about what you look like, how old you are, where you come from, who you are. It doesn't care about anything. Life is just going to affect you in ways. It's going to hurt you in ways that you didn't expect. And for some of us, it's extremely bad. And I was one of those people. I really don't want anybody else to follow in my footsteps, because I don't want anybody else in a situation like mine. To be honest, it's the only reason that I've done this. It's because my body has been broken down, and after so much time, and after how much worse it's gotten, and the lack of treatment that I've been continuing to get this entire time, it lets me know it's over with. I understand that the public may not agree, that most people may not agree, but I feel like it should be up to us, either to whoever the person is, what they are able to do, what they're not, what kind of life that they know they want to live, and they should be allowed to make their decision. That's just my opinion. But again, I would like to stress, please, if you're not like me, if you're not like going through severe physical health conditions, especially if you're not getting treated for it, you know, keep fighting, keep trying. You can always, 99% of the time, there's an answer, there's a solution, there's a path to where you're going that you just haven't found yet, or that you have to make for yourself. But there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Because when there really is none, then you realize how many times there has been especially when you don't have them anymore. Alright, next question. Alright, what did you say at the beginning of your death video? Alright, so this one, people may not know what I'm talking about. So the way I started that off was kind of weird, but I think the rest of it was the best kind of video I had talking about it. I said, I'm a sitting here, is what it sounded like, but I was trying to say, I'm just sitting here, but there was a pause for a second, and it made me want to say because that's one of the words that I use when I'm thinking or trying to get to the next one. It's the next word, like a lot of people do that kind of shit, but I was stuck, so it came out as I'm a sitting here. Anyway, that was kind of like a little, I don't know, a jokey one, but here's the next question. What would you have liked to do besides being a rapper if you were healthy? Honestly, I don't think anybody is asking me that question except myself, but I guess it's kind of my excuse of getting to kind of talking about it, because I've been thinking about it recently. I don't know, I've always liked martial arts. I've told the story a few times to a few people, but before I had even been in a fight, before I even seen a professional fight, I was interested in kickboxing. I just thought the idea of being able to fight with your legs was just a fucking cool idea, and it really just, I don't know, it's just always been something that I've enjoyed, even though I didn't even start like standing up for myself until like I was like 12, 13, I always liked violence, even if I didn't address it or recognize it, in my younger years. But I did always love watching them. Oh my God. I would remember, man, it's cringy now that I think about it, but at the same time, man, I wanted to see some fucking fight. I liked seeing that shit. I want to see who was really a fighter, bro. You know what I'm saying? Who would come out on top. I'm trying to be at that. But Yeah, I have trained before, and you know, I did. I've done a lot of practicing, but I never really got to be healthy enough to go for like even an amateur run. I would definitely have liked to have at least done that, and if I was healthy, but with as much as I like it and how dedicated I know that I am, and can be with things that I really do care about, I have a passion for. I don't know. I feel like I would have had a win or lose. You know what I'm saying? I can come out with a loss record like 2-4 or something like that. But I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to do it, for myself. Um, in the ring. With a real record. Not just some street shit or backyard shit. Like, nah, I wanted to really get in the ring with somebody. So yeah, that's it for that one. What do you want to be remembered for? Really, my entire life, I had always wanted to be remembered as a good musician. Until life was drained of me, and I just wanted to be known as a good person after that, especially like with my friends and my family, people I felt like I cared about. I just wanted to be a helpful person, I think it would be nice to have the good music, especially the good music, only the not the trash shit, but it would be nice to be known for the good music I did do. I did create, but the truth is, like, just in this very critical phase of my life, I just wanted to help people how I could, even though I know it wasn't enough a lot of the times. So, yeah, I'd like to be recognized as both, to be honest, but I think if I had to really settle for one, it'd just be and when it's all said and done, from the beginning of the page to the last one, I think I just want to be seen as a good person who did good things for people and was respectable. That's really what I want to be remembered for, if nothing else. Final question. Why are a lot of your videos in black and white? Okay, well, to tell the truth, I'm ugly, alright? And this filter helps out a little bit. It does me better than it would without it. I've lost a lot of my color. I'm not the darkest guy, but I have like a good color on me. And if you saw pictures of me when I was in high school, you see what I'm talking about. Because I've had to be in the house for years, like spend the majority of my time. I can't really exercise. I can't, so I don't go out much. Like, I'm stuck in the house, so you don't get no type of sun that way. And I don't want to go tan. I mean, like, tan isn't like, I don't know, go get a tan. I don't know. It feels dishonest. You feel me? I don't know. So, I look a lot lighter than I actually am. I just don't. Yeah. So, and I don't have like good license shit. You know what I mean? I got whatever the fuck you can get at a store. You know, this isn't fucking. I don't know. This isn't a real YouTube video like that. You know, I don't got that. And I've been seeing they got these like lights that I would have wanted if I actually did videos like that. It's got like that ring, you know, with the stand. Like apparently, like it's a good light. Anyway, so that's the reason why. And that's pretty much it. I know I didn't have all the questions or answers that you or other people may have. I kind of just, you know, thought about what most of the questions would be like, or, you know, just ones that should be answered, you know, are more important than others. And, you know, hopefully I did an okay job of explaining. If the fund is still going to help with, you know, my funeral costs and, you know, past medical bills, please go donate to that. I stress that. That's the biggest reason why I'm doing all of this. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Take care.